Welcome. So today we are going to talk about faith. Now, either you have it or you don't. There's not just having a little bit of faith. There's not having a lot of faith. You either have it or you don't. So this is how it can present. If you have faith, now I'm going to say this in a way that you've probably not considered before, but it's really about expectancy. So if you really expect something, if you have this expectation that this bad thing is going to happen or this good thing is going to happen, whatever it happens to be, that is faith. That is putting your belief in something. And if you have it strong, if you have 100% faith, you're going to get it. So people who expect negative outcomes, they will repeat from their past these things. They'll say, well, of course I expect this because this always happens to me. Now, let's say that they are going on a trip and they always get, some type of issue with their vehicle or something like that. They are going to expect this. They are going to put their faith in that thing. They are going to put their faith in it and they are going to expect it to happen. And because they have put their faith in that negative thing and they expect it to happen, it happens. And it probably happens every single time. Now, here's the thing. Our faith is showing us, our life is showing us the things that we believe in. That's what our life is showing us. It is showing us the things that we have faith in. So for people who have a lot of money, they just have this belief, they have this deep faith inside of them that they will always just have enough money. They have this belief, they expect it, and so they do. Now, on the opposite end of that spectrum, there is the people who believe and expect and put their faith in the fact that they never have quite enough, or that, they might have enough, but then something always happens and they have to spend it on that thing that happens. They expect these patterns to play out in their life, and because they have put their faith in them, because they expect them, and because they believe in them, they happen. Now, people will say, yes, but I expect this because this is what always happens, and I am telling you, the only reason why it happens is because you are expecting it. So you do not know that tomorrow there won't be the most wonderful, unexpected surprise that just wants to fall into your lap and come to you. But when you believe and you expect that that is not going to happen, and that tomorrow is based off of yesterday, and that the same thing is just going to keep happening over and over, then you get stuck. And then life feels like it's never going to change. And so then you expect things are never going to change, and you put faith in the fact that things don't change for you. And then you experience those things over and over. So if you want different outcomes, you have to put your faith and your belief in something else. So if I would, and this pertains to all aspects of life. So this is not just what you expect to happen in your life tomorrow, but this also goes off of what you subconsciously believe about yourself. So if you believe something like, I'm not valuable or important, and you actually believe this about yourself, then you are expecting subconsciously these things to be proven to you. And because you have put your faith in them, and because you believe in them, that you're not valuable, that you're not important, you will see those things play out in your life, and those things will be proven to you. These things, these proofs that you see are only proofs of your belief. They are not proofs of facts. They are not proofs of even the truth, because that can be changed depending on what you expect and depending on what you believe. So let me give you a really good example. So let's say that you are you want to do something There's something that you just really, really, really want to do, but you're afraid to do it. If you were to really examine this thing, whatever it is that you're afraid to do, and you were to really deeply look at it, you would see that you have put your faith in fear-based energies, negative energies. So either you have put your faith in something like, I don't deserve that, or I'm not important enough for that to happen, or you've put your faith in things like that just don't work out for me, or whatever it happens to be. So if you are believing those things, you'll get proof of them. So how do we change this? We change the subconscious mind. How do we change the subconscious mind? Through actual subconscious programming. So that can be done through hypnosis, which is what I practice with my clients, which is so fast to change these, or meditation, or consciously taking steps every day to recite mantras and things like that. So these things, if you were to do it every single day, maybe your brain will change in 60 days, maybe 30. But if you haven't addressed the underlying why, which is the very first time that belief was shifted inside of you, because you were not born not having faith. Something happened, and when that thing happened, that changed things for you. And when that thing happened and it changed things for you, it has now changed the rest of your life. Unless you were to go in there and change that subconscious programming to what it was pre that incident. So what it was before that incident. So think about it. You're 2 years old. You are, walking outside, and your mom says, oh, you're going too fast, you're going to fall and scrape your knee. Okay, well, what happens? You start going too fast and you fall and you scrape your knee. Was that going to happen before mom implanted that belief, that thought, that idea in your head? Maybe not. Probably not. As soon as something is introduced into our consciousness, it is now part of our world. It's now part of our consciousness. And then our life is dictated on this programming. So parents can come in and they think, I'm sure I thought the same thing too. We think that we're doing our children favors, by telling them everything that could go wrong. I don't do that, but I've seen a lot of parents do that. Or a lot of parents introduce their negative consciousness on their child and saying something like, oh, do you feel this way? Or you better, worry about this. You better worry about that. Or if you have a parent that worries a lot, they are going to pass that on to their children, because they are going to instill that same fear in their child. Like, you are not safe. You need to be worried about this. What happens? That child doesn't even know that they've been programmed. They grow up and they just believe this is who I am. That is not the case. They have been programmed, and the only reason why they worry and why they stress is because it was passed on to them through something that happened, through some kind of past trauma, through mimicking a parent, whatever it happens to be. Now, what happens with this? If people are worried about things, they have put their faith, their expectancy, their belief in that worry. What does this do? First of all, physically, you're going to feel it inside your body. You're going to feel that worry inside your body. And if your body is sending you those cues, if you're feeling, awful or stressed or whatever happens to be physically inside your body is saying, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. You need to do something about this. But what does our mind say? Our mind says, oh, well, I'm feeling this way. I need to worry about it. Well, no. Our body is giving us those signals because it wants us. It is alerting us. Anytime that you feel uncomfortable, anytime that you have that awful feeling come up, it is your body telling you, hey, dude, there's something to look at here that we need to heal or let go of. Or it's trying to protect you from something. So my ex, when I was deciding whether or not I was going to stay with him or not, he would say things to me, and my body would shock me. I would get actual physical shocks. I'd never had that before in my life. I was getting shocked. I was feeling this horrible feelings when he would just say something like, oh, I'll never do that again, or I'll whatever. I would get these, and I'm thinking, what the heck is this? Well, this is my body protecting me. It is my body protecting me. So when something comes up and you're feeling these uncomfortable feelings in your body, it is your body trying to get your attention and saying, hey, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. Now, sometimes it's protecting you, like in that instance with him. But often, these are remembrances from the past, and all it is doing is trying to protect you from whatever happened the first time. So let's say that something happened and you got embarrassed way back in the day. Let's say that you were in elementary school and these jerk bullies were being mean to you and they said something mean to you. Okay, well now so that thing doesn't happen again and you don't get embarrassed again, your body will send you signals. It will make you feel uncomfortable and it'll tell you to get the heck out of there. Why? Because it's trying to protect you from that ever happening again. But here is the thing. It's not protecting you. What it's actually doing is stopping you from living your life. It's stopping you from being a free human on this planet like you're meant to be. So the way that we heal that is through subconscious healing. So I would take you into a subconscious state, we would bring up this feeling, we would heal it. And we would see why it's there. Because when the mind sees why it's there and it realizes, oh, this was 30 years ago, I don't need to still feel this way, it changes things for you. Even when it sees it's when it sees the lesson, that it can help and that you can let it go. There's a variety, so many different subconscious techniques that I would use in a session so that somebody can let these go. But if you are experiencing physical anxiety in your body, so this is fear perhaps, but physical anxiety in your body, it is trying to tell you something. So not always something bad. I used to have that when I would speak to my mom on the phone. Now, you guys don't know my mom, but she's the nicest person on the planet. There was absolutely no reason for that to be there, and it actually had nothing to do with my mom. It had to do with a past life and grief from a past life. And as soon as I saw this in a hypnosis session, that physical feeling came up, which was just, unbearable and terrible. So I totally feel you guys. If you experience physical anxiety, I understand, and it is awful, and I'm telling you, we can heal it. You don't need to have it. So I had one session. It was for past life. It had nothing to do with this feeling, but that feeling came up and it went away. That was actually the determining factor of me being a hypnosis practitioner, was that it changed my life and it healed me so much that I thought I have to do this for people, because it's so quick. And anytime that, anything is really taboo, now I look at it and I think, okay, obviously it probably works really well. So there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about hypnosis out there, and I believe that it's out there so that people don't heal. But we're not those people. So this feeling comes up in this session. It's grief from a past life, but after that, just experiencing that in that session, that went away, and then I didn't have that anxiety, that physical sensation, that feeling anymore. I was set free from it. So if we are living in fear from the past, then we're just going to keep regurgitating it and living through these same patterns over and over and over. So me being a hypnosis practitioner, I will see the patterns in people so very clearly. I'm totally a patterns person, and I'll see it. So somebody will regress back, they'll go to childhood, they have an abusive dad, oh, now then they have an abusive boyfriend, oh, now they're stuck in an abusive marriage. Like patterns like this, or, same thing to do with food, same thing to do with anything, that there's these patterns and they repeat, but the only reason they are there is because they were very first introduced into our consciousness by somebody or something or some past traumatic incident, by something that happened. And then it's now part of our psyche and it stays there. And then we base our life off of it, because our life is based off of our beliefs. So if somebody believes that they're not worthy and they're not deserving and they're not good and that they're probably going to end up homeless, that is probably going to be their fate, because they are expecting it. If they actually expect that and they actually believe that, that will be their fate. That's why they say, your dreams become realized. If you can dream it, you can do it. It goes for the good way and it goes for the negative polarity as well. So if you are experiencing belief in yourself that is lower than what it should be. So if, let's say, on a scale of 1 to 10, your confidence or your belief, let's go with this, your belief in I am lovable, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very high, knowing you're so lovable, and 1 being not at all, where are you at on that scale? Think about it for a second. Where are you at? Because if you're not at a 10, this will be proven to you over and over and over again. And you will take those proofs that you're seeing, which are just manifestations of your belief, as truth, which will further reinforce that belief. But it's not truth, it is only belief. So Jesus said, have faith. And he did not say, have faith in me. Not ever. He did not say, have faith in me. He said, have faith. This is what he's talking about. If you could have faith in anything, 100% absolute faith in anything, and you expect it, it's yours. It's as good as yours. But why do we doubt? Why do we doubt? We doubt because we haven't experienced the pure love that exists in absolutely everything. That's the difference. When you have enlightenment come to you and you get to experience that pure love that's in everything, this is similar to, although I've been there, I've done that, and what I'm talking about is a billion times better than a mushroom trip. But if you have never experienced the love that comes from a mushroom trip or some type of psychedelic experience like that, or if you have, this is what I'm talking about, when you can see and feel and know that everything is just love. Now, when you have enlightenment, meaning your brain has been illuminated, you experience this, but you experience this on a cosmic 1,000-fold level. And it flows through you so deeply that this knowing, this experience cannot be shaken. It cannot be taken away from you. It cannot be shaken. And then once you've experienced that and you know that this love is actually all that exists, and the only reason that fear is there is because of the mind, because we've allowed it to come in, and that the only thing that separates you from this love at every given second is the mind. When you experience that and you know it, it changes everything for you. It changes absolutely everything for you because it shifts your belief. You then see very clearly that it has been you that has been manifesting and creating the outcomes in your life. It's been you that has been manifesting your life. Now, you know that, you're living your life. The choices that you make are going to lead to the outcomes and all of the things, but you don't realize until that point just how strongly your thoughts and the emotions attached to those thoughts, and how the words that you speak, the spoken words attached to those emotions and those thoughts, manifest in your life. Now, synchronicities, these coincidences, I'm air quoting here right now, happen all the time, right? You notice that. You might be talking about, let's say you're talking about a certain chocolate bar. All of a sudden you see that chocolate bar blowing down the street. You see the wrapper of that. What are the chances? And you're like, oh, it was the craziest thing. Today I, was out and I was just talking about this chocolate bar, and pretty soon I see that chocolate bar blowing down the street. And you think that this is a coincidence. You think it. But here's the thing. It's not. It's not a coincidence. You have manifested it. How did you manifest it? You were thinking about it. And you attach some kind of feeling to it, like, oh, I sure like that whatever chocolate bar. And you thought it, and you felt it. Maybe you spoke it. Maybe you said it. Maybe you didn't. But it's now blowing down the street. Why is this happening? Why do these happen? These happen to show us that it's us. That it's us. Nobody else. We are not the victims of anything that happens in our life. We are not the victims. We're the creators. Now, if you were really little and you had some abusive parents and you had, whatever was going on there, a traumatic childhood, I'm not saying that it was your fault. I do believe that you chose your parents and that you knew that it would be difficult, that you knew that you could get through it, and that you knew that whatever lessons were attached to it you needed to learn. Maybe you needed to learn forgiveness, like I needed to learn forgiveness, specifically towards my father. This was from a previous life. I've seen it in a past life session. It came up many, many times in a past life session. So my life is over in that session. We pass on and realize at this point that life was about forgiveness, and that I didn't forgive him and he didn't forgive me. So now what happens? Oh, well, we didn't learn the lesson. Now we got to do it over again. So how does that play out? Well, I'm going to be born into this life needing to forgive him. So he needs to do something that I would need to forgive. So even that circumstance, even growing up in this way, it was predestined. It was preordained. Now, what came from that? Total freedom. Total freedom. When you can forgive somebody, and it's been like a road of 20 plus years have gone by and you haven't been able to forgive somebody, and then you can forgive them, it sets you free. And when you truly do forgive somebody, you want them to be free too, because you've truly forgiven them. You then want the best for them. This isn't like okay, I'll release them and they can deal with their karma. No, it softens your heart and you want what is good for them too, because you're so free, you want other people to be free as well. But I tell you all of that to tell you that our beliefs that we have are dictating our world. So when I believed that my dad was this horrible person who was all these things and blah, 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 which at the time, of course, he was, because my beliefs are playing out in front of me. When I believe that, I'm going to see it. It's going to manifest in my life. Then when I change that belief, when I have forgiven and when I've changed that belief, then you get different outcomes. So children can move away from home and they go out on their own and they become whoever they become. Wonderful people, hopefully. But what happens when they come home? When they come home, they could have been gone for 7 years. But if the parent has not changed their thought about this child, their own child, then they are running that program. The parent is running that program, and telepathically, their expectations are being sent to this child. So it might be days, it might be weeks, it might be months, it might be years, but that child will begin to play out the parents' expectations of them. So let's say that you had a child and they used to be a drug addict. You are not, in absolutely zero way, you are not benefiting that child, your child, by believing that they're not going to be healed, by living in fear that they're not going to be healed, or by expecting them to have that same behavior again. What you are doing is putting your faith in the negative, and you will get it. So the way that you change this is to expect differently. So when we pray, we're not saying, oh, please, baby Jesus, I want you to change this person and do this and that. No. When we pray, we are just sending out a thankfulness for whatever it is that we really want for this person. So let's say that was the case with the child. You would just be sending out a thank you that my child is happy. Thank you that my child is, whatever it is, you are creating this by expecting it and by praying for it as if it's already happened, and then believing, putting your faith in the fact that it's already happened. It's already happening. Because when we're not living in faith, when we are just blindly going around and not realizing that it's us that's dictating everything that's going on in our world, we will play the victim. We will put things on other people. And that does absolutely nothing for us except reinforce whatever beliefs that we have. So I say all of that to say this: what you believe in really matters. So if you want to get rid of some of these beliefs, first of all, you have to become aware of them. So as you become aware of them, you could write them down. So maybe there's a belief like, I'm not lovable. Like, ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at? Okay, well, if you're at an 8 or at a 4 or at anything other than a 10, there's a reason why. There's a reason why. So let's say that you are at an 8. Well, what is that other little 2? What's that 20%? What's that 20% of me not believing it? How come? So then you can work to figure that out. Why? When did that start? You could ask yourself, well, at what age, did I start believing that? You could meditate about it and you could find out where that is coming from. And then when you heal that thing, when you heal that initial incident, the why I now feel this way, then all of a sudden it goes back up to a 10 because you've healed the reason why it's there. You've healed the belief. So when we're talking about faith, if you want to manifest anything, all you need to do is have 100% faith in that thing, 100% belief in that thing. So, and then speak it and feel it. So I manifest for myself financial stability, just a constant current of money that flows into me, a constant current of money that flows into me. Now, if you say that and then you don't fully believe it, I want you to work with the part of you that doesn't fully believe it and heal that part. And once you've healed that part, then that thing, whatever it is, that money will start to flow into your life. There will be a constant current of money that flows into your life easily and effortlessly when you heal that belief. But if there is a belief that's underlying there, you will manifest that belief instead. So if you believe that it's difficult, and you might say, oh, it's been so difficult. It has been so difficult. Yes, I'm not saying that it hasn't been. I'm saying you can change it today so that you have a different outcome tomorrow. And when you heal those things, everything eventually changes. But you have to become aware of what it is, what beliefs are underlying there, because if you're not aware of them, you can't change it. And once you become aware of it, then you can change it, and you can change it pretty easily. So this is my talk on faith here today. When you have faith without any doubt, then you have actual faith, and you can manifest anything that you want. So expect good and wonderful things to happen. And you might say, oh, but good and wonderful things don't happen. And you're right, and they won't if that's what you believe. Then tomorrow will be the same as today. But you do not know that tomorrow something absolutely wonderful will not happen, but you ensure it for yourself when you believe that it won't. So have faith, my dear friends. I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.